On, please welcome to the stage Joni Needy, owner of Aim for Success Sports Performance and Hypnosis.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me today. I am so excited about talking to you about hypnosis, what it is and what it isn't, and what it can be used for. So I took a little inventory. I've actually interviewed thousands of people and asked them, what do you think hypnosis is? Instead of the other way around. Because I'm very interested to know what the perceptions are. My hope is that the perception about hypnosis is changing. It's such an effective modality and tool for people and for athletes. So here's what I found out just in the last couple of days, okay, here at Soccerex. Someone said, I think it's mind control, okay? Someone else mentioned they thought it might be devil's work. Sleep, witch doctor, altering their minds, being knocked unconscious, and they thought of hypnosis as swinging watches or pendulums, right? And in fact, we can use this as a very powerful tool, and we may just do that in a few moments. I'm a hypnotherapist, and I'm all about change, helping people change bad habits or helping people put good habits into their subconscious mind. So I would never do something that involved any of those things, those perceptions that were mentioned over the past 2 days. So just wanted to clear that up right up front. So a couple of the other comments were, I don't know what it is, or I just don't believe in it. How is it that we can make a judgment or decide that we don't believe in something that we don't even understand what it's all about? So I'm here to tell you that today. I would like to start with something that demonstrates the power of the mind, and I'm looking for a volunteer to do just that. You volunteer? Great, come on up. Thanks so much. And you introduced me, and I appreciate that. Okay. So what we're going to do is show you again how quickly we can make a state change. Okay, we did something yesterday, and we're going to do something a little bit different today. And although we don't have an hour or we don't have enough time to do a hypnosis session, this is a very, very fast hypnotic technique that can produce changes and that you can do by yourself anytime you want. I'm simply going to guide you, okay? So what I want you to do is I want you to just think about something that's upsetting to you. Okay? And maybe that happens on a regular basis. Maybe it's happened currently, but just something that you would like to have less of. Okay. All right. So you got it? All right. So what I want you to do now is I want you to imagine that problem or that situation, whatever it is, it spins in a direction. Okay? See how my hands are moving? So if you imagine that it has a direction, are you imagining that that direction is spinning forward or backward? Forward. It's spinning forward. Okay. And if you imagine that that problem or that situation has a color, what color would that be?
I guess flesh color.
Flesh color. Okay. All right. So I just want you to close your eyes for a moment and take a deep breath in and out. And I want you to see that flesh-colored problem spinning forward, okay? And now I just want you to imagine, I want you to take your hands, just bring them up like I had mine, okay, and open your eyes. You can just open your eyes, there you go. And I want you to take that flesh-colored problem that's spinning forward and go ahead and make that motion. Very good. Okay. And now I want you to reverse it, all right? And spin it faster and faster and faster and faster. Very good. And as you're spinning that faster, do you notice that it's the same color or has it changed?
It's becoming visible. visible, actually.
It's becoming visible?
Yeah.
Okay, and what does it look like?
Just like an empty sphere spinning.
Okay, an empty sphere. Is that better than the flesh color?
Yeah.
Okay. Now just relax for a moment. Close your eyes and take a deep breath in. Let it out. That always feels good, doesn't it? Notice the tiny little muscles in your eyes relaxing. Notice when you let the tiny little muscles in your eyes relax, your shoulders begin to drop. And now open your eyes again. And I want you to take that spin that you like better and do it one more time. There you go. That backwards spin. Okay. Perfect. There you go. All right. What do you see now? You see nothing.
Yeah.
Okay, is that better than what you had before?
Absolutely.
So take that, and I just want you to put it back in, however you need to do that. Okay. All right. How do you feel now? Okay.
Fine. Be good.
You're smiling. It has to be good. And it's interesting that you went ahead and you had that awareness that you were smiling, because I was going to mention that, because that is state control. When you go from thinking about something that's upsetting, you notice the shoulders drop, and if we played that back on video, you would see that. The shoulders drop, we start to look down, but we'd much rather be smiling.
Yeah.
So it shows you just the power of the mind and how quickly we can get things turned around. And that technique is called spinning. And it's something that anybody can do. So thank you so much. I really appreciate you doing that. Perfect. Yeah, be safe. So now you can see there's so many techniques that are self-hypnosis techniques that we can teach people to use. Let's talk about the type of hypnosis where you go into the office. Okay, you come into my office and you get in a really comfortable chair, which, my clients tend to like. And the process is very, very natural and normal. I have clients simply listen to my voice, close their eyes, relax their muscles, do a body scan from the top of their head all the way down to the tips of their toes, and they enjoy that and they get into a relaxed state. Once they get into that relaxed state, they're no longer focused on that problem that they came in to focus on with their conscious mind, and they're able to allow their subconscious mind to open up and receive suggestions and ideas and start to create things that are going to help solve that problem. Often, athletes and people want to solve the problem and they want the process to work, but their conscious mind just gets in the way. And that's the part of the brain that we call the critical faculty. And that is the problem child. And that is what hypnosis solves. So when we can go around or through that critical faculty by getting people to relax, open up, and become receptive, they're able to accept those suggestions and make change. And so that's what hypnosis does, and that's what it is. It's not, having people, although stage hypnosis shows are wonderful, and they are using hypnosis, a hypnotist is not going to ask you to do something that you don't want to do. With hypnosis, when someone comes to you for that, they're telling you, this is what I want to change. What can we use it for? What can it be used for? Let's talk first specifically with athletes and what I use it for. Number one problem that I am contacted for is when athletes have wonderful practices and they have wonderful technical abilities and they simply cannot convert those or generalize those to the competition setting. Now, we're talking about athletes, but that can also mean corporate work. It can be any kind of musical audition, anything that's a performance. And most everything we do is a performance, isn't it? Unless we're, at home relaxing, which is rare, right? Then we're on. We're conversing with someone. We're trying to communicate our message. We're trying to get, business, whatever it is that we're trying to do. We're performing, and that's necessary for that to happen. And so we can all benefit by visualizing how we want that to be, thinking about what we want, and avoiding thinking about what we don't want. And so with athletes, that's what we do. When we find out in the triangle, the physical and the technical and the mental, that everything's been taken care of with the exception of that part, the mental part, then we know that's the area that we really need to work on and emphasize. And that is what I do with pleasure, because I like to see people succeed. And it's a great feeling, isn't it? And so let's do something fun and another exercise with the power of the mind. Would you raise your hand if you'd like to see that? Okay. So this is something you may or may not have seen before. But let's just have fun with it and experiment with our minds a little bit. So not really thinking about the outcome, which is what I try to encourage athletes to do, because they already know what they want the outcome to be. They've already visualized it, and they just need to let go and trust their gut and go. So let's do that right here, right now, okay? So if you will, just clasp your hands like this. Perfect. Put your fingers about this far apart, and look only between the space between those two fingers. And as you do, I just want you to imagine that I just placed two magnets on the insides of your fingers. And those fingers want to draw closer and closer and closer together. The magnets are pulling them. The magnets have heavy, powerful force. And they're starting to bring those fingers closer and closer together, and they want to touch. Isn't that amazing? Just go ahead and relax. Just notice what you notice. Isn't that amazing? And you know what's so great? Is it feels crazy, but it's completely natural. That is what our subconscious minds can do. And our subconscious minds account for 90 to 95% of all of our thinking. Our conscious minds, 5 to 10%. So why wouldn't we want to see a hypnotherapist? Why wouldn't we want to use hypnosis or self-hypnosis to improve anything that we want to do? Maybe it's simply to relax. I told my athletes today, I have many, many athletes that are competing this week at what they consider to be their very big event, okay? For me, every event is a big event because I have an important message. So I told them, I'm going to a very, very big event this week, and I want my message to come across very clear. And I want to teach people something they've never heard before. And I want to show them something that they've never seen before. And I think today and yesterday I did just that. I also wanted to be a great role model for them so that they could see that I actually use the tools that I'm trying to teach them to use. That these very simple things that I do add up to become something very, very big. And I know these athletes have goals that are very, very big. And I want them to succeed at those goals. And so I'm very passionate about pushing these techniques and these ideas so that they can learn how to control their minds. They control their minds. We control our minds. Hypnosis doesn't control anyone. We're just, as hypnotists, the job is to help you find out how to do just that. And find out what it is you really want. And make sure the focus is on track. And so that's what leading into this week, my team talks were all based on that and letting them know what I was going to use to be able to do that. I've been really, really excited about all of the people who've stopped by the booth and actually listened to the self-hypnosis audios. And anyone who hasn't done that, I encourage you to do it. It's only 15 minutes, but it feels like a 2-hour nap. And that is because when you're in a state of hypnosis or in, heightened awareness or, just total relaxation, you feel as if the time is actually longer than it is. And that's called time distortion. And so that's one of the benefits of hypnosis, is not having time, which we don't have much of, not having a lot of it. We can take whatever little time we have, or we can create that window of time to take care of ourselves. Okay? And I often do that. You know, I'll be talking to a friend, or I'll be talking to an athlete, and they just, you know, they're not in a good place to have the conversation or to make the change. And so we start there. And I said, you know what? Let's start with this. So if you get a chance to come by and do that, or you're interested, I can send you a relaxation audio if you just bring me your email, so that you can see what it's like to train the sound of my voice and listen to, you know, how a hypnotist actually does something. So I am happy to have presented what hypnosis is, how it can work. For athletes specifically, I hope they will come to me. They have been coming to me. I hope soccer will embrace this. I hope soccer will embrace what I do and let me do it. I can help athletes with attitude, winning attitude, not just, you know, not simply saying I want to win, but internally grasping the feeling and the direction and their vision of how they're going to do it. I can help them to relax when they come into an environment like this and there's so much going on, that they start to feel that pressure in their stomach, their chest, or their head. I can help them to eliminate that and do something else instead. I can help them to focus where they need to be focused, not over there and not over there, but right here. If they're swimmers, they need to be right here between the lane lines. If they're soccer players, they need to be right in where their position is and where they need to play, and nowhere else. And we can do that with hypnosis. And I know that because I've seen it and I've done it so often, that I want you to understand that it can work for you as well in anything that you want to achieve. You simply have to do it. Thank you so much for having me here today and coming to my talk. Please come up to our booth. It's 127. Ask any questions that you might have. Let me work with you. Listen to the demo, self-hypnosis audios, and really enjoy what hypnosis is all about. Thank you so much.